Hey guys, how's it going? Where's everybody joining me from today? Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday, wherever you guys are in the world. Extremely excited to have you guys here. So let's have a little fun. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to wait till everybody trickles in. And let me know in the comments section where you guys are joining me from today. Extremely excited to have you here. So where in the world are you guys joining me from today? Let me know. I'm going to turn this off because otherwise I'm going to get distracted. So let's see. Where's everybody from today? Atlanta, Tennessee. Awesome. UK, Florida. Yay. Dallas. Awesome. We have folks from all around the world. I love it. Okay. So let me set up my presentation because I got lots that I want to cover with you guys today. And let's get this party started, shall we? Wait, I lost you guys. Where are you guys? Oh my God. I have too many windows open. Do you guys like deal with that too? When there's like way too much going on? There you guys are. Pennsylvania, Ohio, Israel. My God, we have folks from all around the world. This is exciting. I'm excited. Okay, so I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get this going. So share screen, window, let's see. There we go. All right, guys, let's do this. Actually, let's do this that way. Awesome. Welcome, guys. Super excited to have you guys here. There's just a lot that I want to cover today. And most specifically, we're going to create together $1 million listing. And not to worry, I'm going to show you proof that it's $1 million listing. I think there's this misconception when it comes to Etsy that you have to upload thousands of listings to be successful. And while that could be true in the sense that you do need to find that winner, once you have that winner, you can really hit the jackpot. So today we're going to dissect and do some reverse engineering to help you along the journey. So first and foremost, my promise to you today, and if you guys know me, this is a no fluff zone. I'm going to go straight to the point, provide you guys with the information you need. Most importantly, I want you to stop doubting Etsy. I've been getting a lot of messages like DMs recently on Instagram or Facebook of folks telling me that because of gift mode, Etsy doesn't have the kind of traffic that it used to have. So I really want you to stop falling for a lot of these Reddit group, what I call Etsy myths that are in place, because I'm going to explain to you why there are myths, and I'm going to explain to you why Etsy is still standing strong. I mean, Etsy's been around for 10 plus years and it's not going anywhere. And I'm going to show you data because I mean, I like to speak data and it's important for you to have that data in front of you. I also want you to stop wasting your time on things like Etsy ads and posting on Pinterest, thinking that you have a traffic problem. You do have a traffic problem, but it's not what you think you have. And I'm going to explain to you today how to fix that. So most of you are here today because you feel like you're uploading lots of listing and you're not getting any results and you don't understand what you are doing wrong. So you're scratching your head, you're applying everything that you're learning on YouTube for whatever reason, it's just not happening for you. So let's break some myths, right? I don't want you to believe anything else but the fact that Etsy is in the business of getting you sales. Etsy's a business and it gets commissions when you get sales. So it's in its best interest to make sure that whomever is in their platform gets sales, right? So unlike popular belief, Etsy's not working against you. Like Etsy's a search engine. I'm going to show you stats of where it ranks comparatively to eBay and Amazon. It also caters to the needs of its customer, right? So as someone who is a seller on Etsy, a lot of time folks I notice are so eager to get sales that they forget that at the receiving end, there's somebody purchasing that product. So it's important for you to make sure that you put a product together that folks are actually going to be excited to purchase, which I get it can be the hard part, right? So reviews don't matter because Etsy is a trusted platform. So you can be a shop with no reviews. You don't need to have your family purchase your products. This is not going to help you with ranking. The best SEO in the world as well is not going to help you get sales, especially if you have a mediocre listing. So let's go and talk stats because this is what actually matters. So unlike popular belief, Etsy's got plenty of healthy traffic. As you can tell, Etsy ranks number 4 after Amazon, eBay, and Walmart. Notice how Target is number 5. Notice as well how Temu is not even on this list. So there's about 500 million, not 500,000, 500 million people who visit Etsy every month. And this is just the US, right? There is nearly 3 to 10 Etsy users, or the group 25 to 34, and 97.3 million active worldwide user. So meaning there's plenty of opportunities and there's plenty of traffic. The other thing is, I actually stumbled upon a video recently of folks talking about Zazzle, which is another shopping platform. And there's just been a lot of hype around Zazzle. However, notice the global rank. So what does that tell us? Meaning Etsy on a global rank, if we look at all the countries put together, it ranks 70. It's like 70 much times higher, right? So it's the 70th most searched website compared to Zazzle, which is all the way down in the list. So needless to say, people don't understand that, especially when you are going after organic e-commerce, which is what you guys are doing with Etsy. It's organic e-commerce where you're leveraging the platform's traffic in order to get sales. And so it's important to understand what platform you're dealing with and how much traffic a platform has. Therefore, needless to say, Etsy is still a great platform. I also want to talk about the pros and cons of Etsy versus Shopify versus affiliate, because I've been getting a lot of questions lately as to where else can I sell besides Etsy? Because Etsy's getting a bad rep there's a lot of miscommunication and myths out there. So while it is true that Etsy bots have been overreactive, what people fail to understand is that Etsy, if you have your banking information and it correlates with your government ID, unless you don't put all the pieces together and haven't like put all the pieces together for your shop, yes, you can get your shop taken down, but you will get it back, right? So needless to say, folks have this idea that Shopify is the answer. But while yes, you can earn 7 figures on Shopify or TikTok Shop, what you fail to understand is that you need to spend money in advertising, because with Shopify, nobody's coming to your website. Nobody knows about you. So you have to build an audience, whether that's through social media or through paid ads. So what is the problem with Shopify? Traffic. You don't have traffic, right? Versus Etsy, you have traffic. You're tapping into their already existing customer base, right? So my personal opinion, as somebody I've been around the block. I've been doing this for a while. I'm a seasoned e-commerce entrepreneur. Etsy is much more beginner friendly than Shopify. And most people think that by going from Etsy to Shopify, it will solve their problem. But unfortunately, they come to realize that it's not going to solve their problem simply because then they realize that they have a traffic problem. And as well, what they failed to realize is that they needed to work on figuring out the foundation, which is learning how to have products that people actually want to purchase in order to go up the e-commerce ladder, if you will. Now, as well, there's a lot of brouhaha lately about affiliate marketing. Now, I'm not a hater of affiliate marketing. I have got plenty of friends who do affiliate marketing, but it's important to understand that it's a very different business model. And affiliate marketing, you are in the business of bringing traffic. So essentially, you are a digital marketer when you are an affiliate, right? Like you are in the business of bringing traffic either through paid ads or by social media. So I hope that makes sense in helping you figure out what is right for you. So let's talk about why folks get bad results when starting with their Etsy journey. The problem number one, and a really big myth and misconception, is that they think competition is a bad thing. So they end up going for items that have less competition, which is fine. This is also how I started, right? But the problem is with this method of going with less competition keywords, you end up getting stuck and not getting enough traffic. And when you don't get enough traffic, you don't get enough sales. So something as cousin gift is going to have less competition, but also notice there's not enough traffic to sustain this. Does that make sense? Yes? So there's not enough traffic here to sustain daily sales. Versus when you go for items that have higher competition, like grandmother gift, which has way more competition, you are naturally going to get more traffic. So more traffic means more opportunity to get sales, right? So I hope that makes sense. Like we are in the game of trying to tap into traffic. And this is where this famous $1 million listing shows up. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how you would tap into this and reverse engineering this. So this particular item has made $1 million in revenue in 1 year. It's still going strong for Mother's Day. Notice as well that majority of the tags that they're using are highly competitive, right? They're extremely saturated tags. So you're probably wondering, how were they able to get sales considering they're going after extremely competitive keywords, right? And this is, again, where I'm the black sheep inside the Etsy community telling you it's not keywords. Keywords is only sprinkling on top of the cake, right? It's icing on top of the cake. What really matters is understanding what people are into. So obviously this is personalized. There's also an emotional component because you have all the names of your kids on your sweatshirt and then it says mama. So, and then it's also embroidery, right? So there's all these elements that make this a strong listing. So then there's a second problem. And I'm going to go and talk to you guys about this, like, because essentially what happens is that most people see this $1 million listing and then they're going to run on Etsy and they'll be like, okay, well, let me replicate this $1 million listing. But what happens is that most folks end up uploading very generic listings. And so when you upload a very generic listing, you can bring all the traffic in the world. You're not going to get sales because it's not going to differentiate itself from anyone else. So this is a quick example for you, right? Like, so you might tell yourself, okay, there's lots of opportunities in the yoga niche because yoga's been trending, without really grabbing or having insights, right? Without looking at data per se, without looking at search volume, without even looking at what is actually selling on Etsy. And so some folks end up uploading very generic listing like this elephant, which doesn't say anything. Like, as a customer who's into yoga, like, I'm someone, I love yoga. Like, I would not be called to buy that elephant shirt. However, Downward Human, that's going to get a reaction out of me. Like, it's going to get an emotion out of me. So notice the difference here. Like, this is the other element that is missing from your listings. You guys are not adding any emotional factor. You need to get into the head of your customer, understand who your customer avatar is, and then create a listing that's going to speak to that demographic. So this is the difference. And this is what I mean when I say uploading generic listings. You're not uploading listings that connect with your customer. This is another example with digital planners. When you are uploading a digital planner, you have to understand what the problem you're solving. You have to understand why this customer is wanting to purchase a digital planner. And I'm sorry to say, but something on the left-hand side is lazy. It's not thought through. This is something that any customer knows they can get this by themselves on Canva. Like, there's no need for them to purchase the item. So notice the striking difference between one and the other. Does that make sense? So I want you to stop uploading listings for the sake of uploading listing, not doing your due diligence, being lazy about it. I'm sorry to say, I'm not saying you guys are lazy, but I'm just like saying overall, these are what the examples I'm sharing are lazy listings where there's no research, there's not thought process put in together. Does that make sense so far, guys? Say yes if it does. Let me know. Is this making sense? Yes, yes, yes. All right, great. So let me reveal my secret formula and let me reveal how Etsy actually works, right? Because everything else is just noise. Everything else is noise, and you have to understand the foundation. You have to understand how Etsy works, right? So my loophole or my secret is I understand how the Etsy algorithm works, and I serve the Etsy algorithm by leveraging like the existing customer base. So what I mean by that is Etsy already has a customer base. So Etsy has a customer base. They're actively going on Etsy to search for items. So for instance, right now, they're searching gifts for Mother's Day. They're searching gifts for graduation. They're searching gifts for Father's Day. And I'm only tapping into the broad surface of holidays. There's occasions, there's multiple reasons why they're going on Etsy to purchase products, right? And every one of them are not created equal, because some of these searches are going to bring more traffic than other. And that's why it's so important to understand where the traffic is coming from. That's the first part of the equation. So, well, everyone is like focused on niches and like thinks that niches are the holy grail. I don't care about niches. I focus wholeheartedly on understanding demand. What are people into? Because niches that's just not how Etsy works. And unfortunately, it gets people caught up and not seeing the broader picture, which is traffic. So we need to understand first and foremost that you need to understand what is bringing you traffic, right? So what is actually bringing in traffic? So obviously, traffic and SEO go hand in hand, right? And so what I mean by that is that you have to understand what specific keywords is driving traffic. So, but it's not SEO the way you think it's SEO. Because like, for instance, what I'm trying to say is like, folks think that the answer to their problem is having the perfect keyword that has plenty of traffic, but not a lot of competition. Like, that's the holy grail of keywords. But you could have a keyword like that, but if your listing is generic, it's not going to get you sales. So it's actually like both. Like, traffic is extremely important. By all means, you need to understand where the traffic is coming from. That's the first piece of the equation, by all means. But then you need to understand how to take that information so you can surf the Etsy algorithm. And that is composed of these three components. The first one is understanding demand. What are people actively buying based on when we are throughout the year, right? Where is their actual demand, whether it's what product they're into, what trend are they into, what is currently popular. So understanding that, then understanding traffic, and then understanding competition. So these three things mixed together equals sales. Because obviously you need to be aware of your competition, but instead of looking at your competition and thinking it's a bad thing, you need to reframe that thought process and understand that competition is a good thing, and you just need to outsmart your competition. Because if there's competition, it means that there's actually opportunities to make money, right? So, I mean, it's just, that's just how business goes in general, right? So competition is not a bad thing. I want you to reframe that thought process and actually understand that, on the contrary, you want to find a way to differentiate yourself from the competition. So demand and traffic and competition and understanding how to differentiate yourself equals the secret sauce, which is how to get sales. So what often happens is that most folks, like I've mentioned, will end up getting lost in the sea of option. And again, the best SEO in the world is not going to fix this problem. So like I mentioned, this sweatshirt right here, this one listing has made $1 million in revenue in 1 year. So notice how everybody's copying each other. And now, yes, there's different permutations, but everybody's like trying to claim a stake of the piece of the pie. They saw an opportunity, they're all going after it, right? So needless to say, those folks who are already ranked high have been able to tap into the opportunity. But for you guys, uploading something like this would no longer work, obviously, right? Because think of it, when a customer goes on Etsy, you have to find a way to divert their attention for them to click on your listing. And also, this is what's going to help rank your listing. So if you're copying what's already available in the marketplace, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get any traffic. So that's the key. So somebody's asking me, how do you understand all these three together? So Fabi, this is how you do it. You need to first understand what customers are actively buying. And this can be as easy as going on Etsy and doing a quick search and looking for bestsellers. That's the first step, without using any spy tools or anything, like keeping it raw and simple. So understanding what people are actually buying. And then you need to find a way, and this is not showing here, but you need to find a way to emotionally connect with your customer. So this is the other thing you need to do, how to emotionally connect with your customer. So let's talk about that. So the next step, now that I know that this mama shirt with the embroidery and all the kids' name is doing well, I'm going to do some additional research. I'm like, okay, so I have data that this is doing well. These keywords that are extremely competitive, which is Mother's Day, mom gift. I mean, you have to look at what some of the tags are ranking for, right? But then you need to also understand, what are other competitors doing and how is it different from other sellers out there? So this particular embroidered sweatshirt with the kid's name, which, as you can see, I wear my heart on my sleeve. This actually was already trending last year. It's made $53,000 in revenue. So the next step is going through and researching to see what other items that are similar are also getting as much traction. So this is a first one. And this is a second one, which is actually completely different. So this one is an embroidered sweatshirt, which is customized. Also, by the way, always look at the reviews of a listing, because through reviews, you can get a lot of insight as to who your customer avatar is. And a lot of time you guys forget to do that. Why do you need to know who your customer avatar is? Because you need to know who you're selling your item to, because you're catering to that customer, and not every customer is the same. So you have to understand the psychology of who is buying that item, because that's what's going to help you going from very generic to having an emotional connection with your customer. So in this case, this is a customized embroidered shirt, but they're also going not just after mother niche, but they're also going after the wedding niche, maid of honor, right? So this is giving me data. Okay, so maybe there's an opportunity outside of just creating a sweatshirt for Mother's Day or moms. I can perhaps open it up to other niches and make something that's a little broader. So this is the data. And yeah, so this is another one that's doing really well. And again, so here what I'm doing is I'm scraping Etsy for information. I'm scraping Etsy for different phrases, for different ideas. Like I'm just going through to see what is actually performing well. And in this case, I'm keeping it selected within the mother's niche, or like looking at sweatshirts that are embroidered. And I'm going to put all this data together. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this data. But I hope this makes sense so far. Does this make sense? Yes, yes. So, proud mother of a few dumbass kid. It's funny. It's funny. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a little aggressive, but it's funny. So this is just a plain shirt. I mean, and already I'm like, okay, well, there could be an opportunity where you include the names of the kids on a sleeve, like adding it in the sleeve, or you can add it on the sweatshirt. Obviously, this could be this is for a mother who probably has like older kids, right? You're probably not going to wear that if you have toddlers, because it's probably going to hurt their feelings, or you're a sarcastic kind of mom. Again, this is another reason why you'd want to go through the reviews to see who bought this gift for who, what the occasion was, so you can have a better understanding of who your customer avatar is. So this is another example. And then this is actually something that we shared inside our membership, which is going viral on TikTok. And it's this term yapper. And a yapper is currently being used to describe someone who talks a lot. I guess it could be a yapper. So somebody who talks a lot. It could be described as your pets. Professional yapper could be your pets. So whether you have cats or you have dogs, etc., right? But you could also potentially use it to describe your kids. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So notice how I took one idea, I took one insight about a listing that's making $1 million. I'm going to show you again the screenshot for some of you guys who just joined us. So this listing right here is making $1 million in 1 year. So notice how I went deep into a rabbit hole. I started with data of like, okay, this particular item has made $1 million revenue. These keywords are extremely generic, but it's telling me that they're going after anniversary gift, new mom, baby shower, first Mother's Day. Like, so this is giving me insight of what's bringing them traffic and where there's an opportunity on Etsy and how I can perhaps tap into this traffic source. But obviously replicating that is not enough. So I need to find an edge, and I need to find a way to differentiate myself from everybody else, because knowing that this made $1 million, now I have to reverse engineer and understand how I'm going to differentiate myself on Etsy. Because obviously when you are on Etsy, part of the game is differentiating yourself, because when people go on Etsy and perhaps do a quick search for mama sweatshirt, well, you have to find a way to compete with this listing. Does that make sense? Yes, yes. Do you guys have any questions so far? All right. So now that we have this data, what do we do with this data? You're probably wondering, okay? So we have this data. What do we do? Well, we are going to blend all these ideas together, and this is where the magic happens. So you're going to look at what is in high demand from a keyword perspective, from a product perspective. You just analyze overall. You just look at yourself as like a mad scientist, where you're looking at data and trying to put all the pieces together, and you're essentially creating the perfect, what I like to call it, super seed. Because essentially Etsy, look at it as like a big plot where you're planting multiple seeds, and you have to engineer the perfect seed to make sure that that seed, when you plant it in the ground, it's going to give you enough fruits. It's going to bear fruits and bring you revenue. So what's in demand and best-selling ideas? We're putting them all together. And so when we blend those things together, this is where the opportunity comes in. So you take a best-selling trend, you take a best-selling message, you look at niches, you look at personalization, you analyze everything, and then you create those opportunities by blending things together, all while understanding who your customer is and making sure that whatever you're blending together makes sense and it's going to speak to your customer. Because if you are creating something that is appealing to a Gen Z audience, it's obviously not going to appeal to a Gen X, right? Like it makes sense. Like it's just marketing 101. And it's important for you to understand that when you are creating your listings. So my recommendation, and we're going to do this together right now, is we could create a sweatshirt where we are blending professional yapper with this mama sweatshirt. And we're going to do that together. So now I'm going to open Gelato and I'm going to show you how to do this. So again, by the way, when you take an idea, the other thing I want to bring up is don't stop with just one idea. You guys have to upload multiple variations because I mean, I would love for my first idea to like hit the jackpot. It's almost like you going to Publix or whatever grocery store you have around the world and buying a lottery ticket and expecting to get sales on the first go. A lot of time when you guys are uploading listings, you're expecting that. You're like, I'm going to upload one listing and that listing is going to hit the jackpot. So no, when I come up with an idea like this, I'm going to upload 10 variation, maybe 20 variations. I'm going to try as many different permutations as possible, different designs, different text. See where I'm going with this? So like when you find something based on your research, you have to upload different variations to understand what's going to stick. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some gelato time. So let me get my screen together. Oh my God, I have so many windows open. Do you guys struggle from having way too many windows open? I don't even know where anything is at this point. So let's see, because I actually had already set this up ahead of time. So I hope I can find this window now. Let's see, where did I put it? I found it. Hallelujah. Okay, so I already set this up. Let me share my screen. And now I can't find you guys. Oh, where are you guys? Oh, here. There we are. Okay, so let's do this. Present, share screen, and let's go inside Gelato. So this is one of my ideas, right? We're going to take this yapper trend and we're going to write raising yappers. We're going to put it in the center chest, and then we could include in the wrist and add a bunch of names. So in this case, we can add text. But by the way, with Gelato, you are able to personalize all these different names. So, I mean, here, let's just do a quick example. So in this case, oops, what am I doing? So essentially, we would include all the name of the kids because we know that that's doing well. John, Stephanie, whatever. But with Gelato, actually, I'm going to show you guys. So we're going to leave this page. Okay, so we're going to do embroidery. We're going to start designing. And then we're going to do center chest. We're going to add a design. We're going to do this one, raising little yappers. And then on the left wrist, what we're going to do is we're going to add layer. We're going to add text. And then we're going to go ahead and personalize it. So this would be like kid name number 1. And then we're going to add a new layer. We're going to add new text, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's the beauty of Gelato, is that this is going to actually sync up with your Etsy. So you don't have to go in you don't have to go in and replicate and add it manually, is what I'm trying to say. So overall, this is what we're going to do. We'd have to make this bigger because obviously this doesn't really look good. And so what I like as well is that it shows you how it's looking like embroidered. And so here, the idea is that you put all the name of each of the different kids. You can add, let's add another one. Let's do, I don't know, what other name could we add? Let's say Alice in Wonderland. There we go. So we're going to do this. And then we're going to do, oh, add to order. Okay, I did the wrong thing. My God, guys. I'm not in the right place. This is where we're having an issue. So we're going to do this again. So this is my dummy store, by the way. So, I mean, this is not my real store, but sweatshirt, what we're going to do is we're going to do crew neck, and we're going to do this again. So embroidery, we're going to add the file, which is raising yappers. Oh, we're going to put it, oh, shoot, sorry, guys. Discard. I made a mistake. Let's try this again. My Lord. Single product, sweatshirt. We're going to use this. We're going to do embroidery. We're going to do center chest. That's what I was trying to do. Then we're going to pick the file. We're going to pick this. And then we're going to do the wrist. But we're going to click on this and it's going to do personalize. And we're going to like automate it to personalize it with Etsy. So this is a great feature that's really going to make all the difference. So we're going to automate it here. And then we're going to ask add names of your kids. There we go. And then what we do is we add the personalized layer. So this is super simple to do. So essentially we would add John. So that's one layer. Then we're going to add another one. So we would call kid one. Then we could add another personalized. So this like is going to be a game changer for you guys. This could be another kid. So we do Alice in Wonderland. We're going to do kid number 2 and vice versa. So ideally, you'd want to add like 4 layers, depending. And this is going to show you how it works. And that's it. Essentially, this is what you want to do, like add all the different layers. And once you've done that, yeah, it looks a little off. So I might have to make this bigger. Alice, John. And so, by the way, the other beauty of Gelato is that it ships from 32 different factories, which makes your life much easier. So now for mockups, you can start off with the mockups that are provided to you from Gelato. I also recommend that you create your own mockups because obviously if we are going after mom demographic, like these mockups are not going to work, right? So it's important for you to, I recommend that what you do is buy mockups from Etsy and then create your own mockups because these mockups, in all honesty, are not good enough and are not going to help you get additional sales. Like this is just good for you to kind of get an insight of the way this is going to look. Now, by all means, you know, I didn't put a lot of effort into this because I simply want to show you how this works. And then you would include your title based on your SEO research, right? And the demographic you're trying to do. Then you stuff your description as well with as many different keywords as possible based on what it is you're trying to go after. You can actually also use ChatGPT to help you with your title and description. You add your tags and then you simply continue to prices and start uploading it. So something I want to mention as well, when you are doing apparel, is that when you're starting out, it's important for you to have competitive pricing. I would also recommend when you are doing apparel, because apparel is more competitive. So this does not apply to all different categories, but you want to just break even. Make sure that you break even, but have the customer pay for the shipping and pay for the product. The reason you want to break even is because you want to rank your listing. And so as you get more advanced, you'll see that it helps rank your listing. And once you rank your listing, then you can start increasing your price. Gelato does embroidery and Gelato does connect with Etsy. I've already had connected it directly with Etsy. And so the way this works with the personalization, which is why it's amazing, is that you don't need a third-party tool when you need to do personalization. Because essentially what it does is that it's going to take the data from what your customer inputs inside Etsy, and it's going to go ahead and process it. And then you go in and you accept it manually, or you can have it do automatically. It's really up to you. But this is what's really going to be a complete game changer. So do you guys have any questions so far? Is this making sense? To do the mockups for embroidery, what you have to do is you have to find mockups on Etsy or create a fabric on. And so you're going to have to Photoshop it, obviously, but you're going to have to create your own mockups that way, because the mockups provided by Gelato are just not great. And those mockups are not going to get you sales. And it's important as well that when you are doing a mockup or a flat lay, that it represents the demographic that you're going after. Does that make sense? Cool. All right, guys. So this was like a quick little demo, but essentially the purpose here, again, was to create a listing where I'm taking data of what is currently trending or what is in high demand, which is, by the way, something that we've shared inside our membership. So raised by our Raising Little Yappers, and then adding all the names. So I'm blending these two concepts together, and then I'm going to try different variations to see what's going to stick, because I know this particular listing made $1 million in 1 year. So I'm going to try as many different variations as possible to go after this demo. And by the way, the reason this made so much is they're not just going after Mother's Day. They're going after new moms. They're going after baby shower gifts. Like, they're going after multiple demographics, or multiple occasions, I should say. So as a result, this is an evergreen shirt that is being sold all year round, which is important for you guys to understand that as well. You need to make sure that you have items that will sell all year round, and don't pigeonhole yourself into creating listings that only work for the holidays. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys like a sneak peek of what is possible, of people like you with no experience who are blowing up using my Etsy selling formula with no Etsy ad or Pinterest. The reason I'm sharing this is to show you that this is possible, because I know a lot of times you might feel in a silo, especially if you don't have a group or a community of folks that you are actively part of, and you might think this is not possible and whatnot. And I know this used to be me, trust me, by all means. It's not till I started being active, going to networking events, being active on Facebook, and realizing what was possible, that everything changed for me. So I'm going to share with you really quickly, like, I get messages like this on a daily basis of folks who are getting their first sales. Lisa, who was able to book a Caribbean cruise with her family, with her Etsy earnings. A lot of folks kind of going from not getting any wins, having tried Etsy for a really long time, to finally making it happen. And then I have
the total revenue is 1586 USD. And if I divide it by what I paid, which is $67, I think, for your membership, the ROI here is 23 times. Amazing. So I spent no more than 2 hours a day because, as I mentioned earlier, I have other commitments, my other businesses. So I just want to say thank you. And, I think your method makes a lot of sense. Actually, my day-to-day business, I own a PR and branding agency. So we are very familiar with social media marketing, as well as finding the correct target audience. But for where I'm based, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, meaning Southeast Asia, right? So a lot of your method talk about finding trends and demand. So I had some advantage and disadvantage for me.
So just to give you guys a little insight, just again, to show you that this is possible, you can do this from anywhere in the world, as long as Etsy, because now Etsy opened up, actually, like, there's opportunities to use the Etsy payment in a lot of different countries, Mexico being one of them and whatnot. So she's based in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and she's been messaging me on Instagram because she found a winner, and literally just yesterday, she made $331 with one listing because a customer bought multiple items, and she's profiting 45% profit margin. So needless to say, when you crack it, everything will fall together, right? But the problem is, a lot of times, like I've mentioned, you guys are not looking at data, you're not understanding where the demand is, and you're not blending. And the final part is, you're not understanding who your demographic is, right? So it's really, you need to have all of these different ingredients to really crack it. And this is something that this particular student was able to do.
And so far, it's been 17 days, and I've already made 10,500 in revenue, which is amazing.
And we're not even at the start of Christmas. Like
I know.
So this is another story of a student as well who joined my program last year. And this, when we spoke, it was, I want to say mid-November, and she had found a winner. By the way, both these students are doing apparel, but I mean, there's folks who are selling jewelry, print on demand. Like I'm all about selling different print on demand products and having a store that's a generic store, which is also very different from what everybody else teaches. Everybody tells you have to know a niche and you have to stick to one product. I'm so against that, because Etsy is a marketplace and you have to leverage the fact that it's a marketplace. And as a result, you can have a general store and different products, because it's not going to de-rank you for having different products. On the contrary, like it ranks your specific listing. So your listing is your website. And as a result, you want to open up your ability to test as many different ideas as possible to see what's going to stick with you, you know? What else? Oh, this is another.
Well, the last 26 days, not 30 days, it's like 23K sales. Highest sales I've ever had. Like 4 times what I've been made so far.
You had made 23 for the whole year. So you went from doing that to doing double using my method. Doing
Not
that in a
double.
month.
In a month, yes. Before I joined your course, I actually weighed in whether I should join your course or use the fund to pay for advertising and drive traffic to my store. Yeah, I was actually mentally defeated because I've been like uploading a lot of listings to Etsy, and beginning of October, Etsy deactivated most of my listings. So actually, to be honest, I didn't think I would make it this year. But then I took your course, and then I think they started the end of November. That's when it started. That's it. I was so excited that this is the biggest one, the biggest sales I've ever made on Etsy. Christmas is already over, but people are still buying. I launched one listing just yesterday, and today I already get sales. So I'm so happy. Your courses made me realize why I haven't had really a great success so far on Etsy. I learned how to make my listings stand out. And the thing is like following the trends. I heard about people talking about the trends, but it didn't really click until I took your course. Keep learning from you, because you keep giving us a lot of nuggets, different, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was on the fence, and I'm glad that I made the right decisions. If you're on the fence, well, don't. Just jump in and you will get it. You will be success. I can't wait to see what's the future of what I learned from, what I know now that I learned from you.
I love that. So anyways, guys, the only reason I'm sharing that is because I want to show you what's possible. And I really want for you guys to stop thinking that Etsy's the problem and Etsy's saturated, because that's not the case. And jumping into Shopify or Amazon or whatever that is not going to fix your sales problem. You have to understand how e-commerce works. You have to understand how psychology works. And Etsy's a great school. I'm not saying you have to be on Etsy your entire life, but like my method works because I have a loophole, and this specific loophole is helping people get sales. So needless to say, I want to close this out by letting you guys know about a membership that I currently have available. What it includes are weekly ideas of trends and demand, weekly Canva templates as well. So we pick one idea. So the one you saw earlier, the Yapper trend, this is something that we shared inside the membership. We included Canva templates for folks to use. Obviously, you have to change the Canva templates. You do not use the Canva template as is. Then we include 2 monthly support calls to help you get unstuck. You get AI prompts, like a whole library of AI prompts to help you set up your store faster. We have a very, very, very active community inside Kajabi. And on top of it, icing on the cake, we are also uploading an emotional connection chapter. So you can learn how to emotionally connect with your customers. We're going to upload that bonus content as well. So if you're interested, hey, sorry, right now it's $67 a month. We're going to increase the price in a few weeks. So make sure to get in now. You will be grandfathered into this rate. You can cancel anytime. I mean, obviously, guys, like this is a great deal. We're providing you guys with so much inside the membership. I mean, I think we probably are one of the most active memberships out there. I mean, I'm telling you, we get messages on a daily basis from our folks. So thank you guys. If you were able to attend the entire live today, it was my pleasure to share with you some insights and create with you $1 million listing using Gelato. And essentially just know that it's all about understanding where there's traffic, understanding as well what are people into, and also putting together and creating a blend, if you will, right? So understanding customer, their emotions, what kind of avatar, understanding traffic, and understanding bestsellers. And that's the formula to putting it all together. And by using my little loopholes, which is looking at what are people into. And by the way, we don't use research tools to do that. Like we're really tapped in, looking at everything cohesively, and we're able to give you guys trends that are not even on the research platforms yet. All right, guys, have a gorgeous day wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining. Let me know if you have any additional questions in the comment section, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.